prototypes that would probably only be an 8-tonner.
It's an 8-tonner, but you can tell that by the fact that the headstock is bolted to the smoke box with 5 large bolts rather than the 6. Right. So if you see one with the 5-bolt cross arrangement, as this one shows, that is an 8-tonner, and if it's got 2 rows making up 6, that is a 10 or sometimes a 12-tonner.
Next we have an engine both of us know very well. Timmy Tomlin's restored this from a very rusty hulk, and it was new to the Keeling family in Essex and spent all of its life there thrashing. Keeling's also operated some ploughing engines. This engine is an 8 horsepower single cylinder. Not that many barrels were that big because they didn't really need that much power, but in Essex they thought they'd have a bigger one.
Very much an Essex thing, big thrashing boxes, big corn country. But Timmy Tomlins not only did this engine up, but he modified his house so that the far end of it was actually the engine shed.
Yes.
And you could be, if you were a particularly favoured guest, you were taken upstairs and you walk along the landing to the end, and then there was the balcony looking down over the top of the engine, and dear old Tim Sarney used to call it the front room bowl.
Next we have another Fowler roller, the single cylinder 10-tonner. This one was new to Kayser Horsham. They're quite well known in their contracting business. They had tractors as well as rollers.
Yes, very robust and constructed, and well engineered as well. So you've got a combination of a good engineering design and superb engineering quality. And now probably the most famous steamroller in the world. Have other television. Yes, what more do we say about this? I think Fred Gardner did a lot for the steam engine movement because we had such an enthusiasm and we were interested in steam engines. We gradually in and we wanted to learn more. Television exposure is always good. Yes. You simply cannot buy the advertising that sort of television exposure provides. And it sticks in people's memories when it's a good programme about a good character, and Fred was an amazing character, and the programmes were well made. I'm not quite sure what we say about a steam Land Rover, except that it might be a little bit more reliable than some of the petrols. I think it's too early. It's a 2.8 plus, isn't it? Quite a novelty, man. I haven't seen that before. Another barrel on the top. You could easily take that off and put on a normal smoke box. There's a lot of things you need to do. So I think that was Farrell's offering in the convertible market, wasn't it? Is that true? Yes, yes. McLaren Upton, a Farrell compound, 3902. Is that a deputy, do you think, or 2 big? It's a 5 horse anyway. It looks like a 5 horse. When I look at the regulator, and most of them are going up, they tend to be a lot. That's just how those 2 happy controllers as well. Again, a nice example of a double frame hot pack barrel. We don't do Severn because it has a Severn registration. The class of 80 made by barrels that they thought were suitable for the West Country and thereby called the Severn. They altered the gearing slightly, I believe, because, of course, down in Severn, there's some very, very steep hills. And they actually sold a lot of engines down there, so they must have suffered called the buyers down there that they were off. I've been overtaking the Allen Roller. There's another Fowler, and just I think it's the West, there's no registration on it, but I think it's the West Riding Townsend Banter one. There were quite a number of Fowlers, of course, it's a local mate for them, Fowlers of Leeds. They say loyal to the local firm. And then it's past the Hampshire Brothers, very famous firm of contractors, both in fashion and rolling. And the Hampshires provided us with a good deal of history because they were very meticulous at keeping records of everything they did and which engines they had. And that provides engine restoring today with a very good basis of a local history on the traction engines of the West Riding. And next is a Foden detail, which is slightly different to the other ones, because it has larger back wheels, which is made of a good tractor. And this particular one, I think it was designed for Hereford, isn't it, Alan? Yes, that was the Hereford County Council, and they had, I think they had 2 of those, and several Asian tractors. So this one, I mean, these two things, everyone's going to Oh yeah, very much so. But I remember when Jack Henry, Albert Henry, and I think Jack Henry and Albert took it on, and it was really well known. But it's a local agent to me, and one I'm quite fond of. Another side of Master. Yeah, again you can see the, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the double blast pipe arrangement is what we would call it technically, coming out the front of the cylinder into the base of the cylinder, and this allows the double hide, the screw double hide, which means that both cylinders are allowed to import their spent steam by the valve motion, which gives it an extraordinary different power for small engines. This is another frozen agriculture, but this is the only single cylinder one here today. I think it's been imported from Australia. Frozen's are very popular in Australia, do you see them? But it's nice to do, so it's not going to be important. I think it's 1 or 2 of them. I think it's 4. Are they all imported? Yeah, they're all been imported. I think they're all XS7, and the thing is that Foden's actually developed compounding, I think, before anybody else. And so practically is now still a very continuous thing. And we now know that something following in the country is a remarkable fact, because as soon as Foden started campaigning, they dropped a single cylinder from the catalogue. And I think that's experimented also with. Spot on time, Barry, as you leave, I'm sure. But as I said earlier, please do take a moment now to give it a chance and go and have a look at the shoulders engine for the working. There are some very fine, particularly X-Mail, I think this is its first season out after a very, very expensive rebuild. We could talk a little bit about the fair actually, Mark, because we have a very, very good lineup of vintage fairground rides, 7 of them in total, I think, 6 machines, performing the fair. That's some good period style stuff. And as Mark has mentioned, an excellent lineup of 20 or more service engines, several of which will be, and already are, providing power to the fairground rides. I've noticed already that the Bowl Starlight is the next generation for the Jordan Brothers electric yacht at one time, and we'll be working through the day on that. And no doubt that the 6 Blue Fowler will be providing power for Colin Golden Skid Ride, which is probably the top thrill ride at the fair. There's also a travel sofa, which is the one which takes the bottom. It's just the chassis which is completely reworked. This is a work of art. There's a lovely lineup of diesel showing practice, including, you could say, that Lazarus-like show track. The travel show track, and we've got 3 of them there, I think, aren't there now? 2 proper ones. 2 genuine ones. There were a series of 18 travel lorries made after the war between about 1946 and 1949 for travelling stations, which were for new transport. Samuels designed the lorry as a standard haulage lorry, but it was Sidney Harrison. Sidney Harrison then took the basic Samuel lorry and adapted it to travelling trading by fitting a big mortally dynamo in the body behind the cab, which is felt getting off the engine. But the road engine also provided power for the dynamo from October and Severn on the Taurus, particularly on moving day. But Sydney House is also a very nice element called Steam Country Rally. It was originally where the boroughs, then we went to society, and we designed the street of our side, which were made for one of them, two of them, the Lion and Steam Carnival. We designed those in and after the war. But well, I've still got all of these customers, I met cases who I need, and we invented the data. And we've got the
Thank you.